Hello there everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Joesephyr. Hello there beautiful, how are you doing today? Now, today I'm actually releasing two videos, and this one is going to be all about the new trailer that dropped for Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis. Now, mobile gaming is something I know a great deal about when it comes to the Final Fantasy franchise. I made a big point of playing Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia for a long time, but I have been looking for something to scratch the itch that had been left behind since I stopped playing that game. And seeing this trailer, it's looking pretty exciting. So let's take a deep dive into the trailer and see what we can find out in terms of new gameplay mechanics. There's pre-registration that's gone live, there's a closed beta test that's going live, and there's lots of information to take in. So if you want to find out more, then stay tuned and keep on watching. Now, before we get started, as I say, this is the second of two videos that I'm releasing today, the first of which was a deep dive into the trailer for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is very exciting. So I will leave a link in the description box below if you want to have a look at that particular video. But in this video, we're going to be looking at Ever Crisis. So without further ado, let's take a look at the trailer and then we'll have a look at some of the other information that has followed it. So this is looking very, very new, like it's Sephiroth kind of Crisis Core days by the looks of things, especially considering that he's on the phone to Genesis. So for those of you who have played Crisis Core, obviously you'll know that Genesis was the primary villain from that game. So this seems to be telling a lot of new stories about Sephiroth specifically. So we know that Ever Crisis, first of all, is a free-to-play mobile title that will have gacha mechanics in it. So for those of you who were hoping that it wouldn't, unfortunately, it is one of those kinds of games. I have actually released a sort of analysis for a previous trailer for Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, which I'll also leave in the description box below if you want to have a look at that. But I thought we'd at least get that out of the way in case people had questions about what kind of game it is. We still don't know Sephiroth. See, these things always make me a little bit nervous because I am of the opinion that's possibly a hot take that Crisis Core gave us too much information about Sephiroth, and I think that a lot of the appeal of Sephiroth's character in the original Final Fantasy VII, and honestly in Final Fantasy VII Remake, they've managed to kind of make it come back again, so that makes me less nervous for this, in that they've kind of given him more mystery again. So I hope that they don't unravel that by playing stuff here. So here we see like this is the parts of FF7, parts of Crisis Core, all different parts of the Final Fantasy VII universe that we've seen before, and you can see the difference in the graphical style between the overworld and combat. So the overworld is presented in more like a Final Fantasy VII OG kind of style, but obviously zhuzhed up to modern graphics, whereas combat, as you can see from this still here, is brought on with regards to Final Fantasy VII Remake style combat and visuals. So again, we've got some stunning artwork for character art that I'm really excited to see more of, and I'm really excited to see which characters they bring to the forefront. If you don't know, the company that makes this game is Applebot, who also made Nier Reincarnation. So hopefully they pull out all the stops for Final Fantasy VII here, because it's not something that I think Square wants to take lightly. So we also get alternate costumes here, and this one for Tifa is very interesting. She's giving me kind of like Wu-Tai Ninja, like Kunoichi, and I'm kind of here for this vibe. I really like what they're doing with Tifa here, but this Aerith one though, this Aerith costume is sort of giving me almost Xenoblade vibes with the kind of the more futuristic aspects to her outfit, and I'm kind of living for this. And as you can see down here, if you've played Pokemon Masters EX at all, the systems will be very similar to that. I did cover that more in my last video on Ever Crisis. But as you have an ATB gauge that kind of fills up, you have different skills that kind of take different portions of the gauge up. So there's different spells and different things that you can, and skills that you can use with Aerith here, and you can chop and switch characters on the fly by clicking on the portrait of the character that you're wanting to play as. So this is going to be the kind of Tempest 4 skill. This outfit for Cloud, also really interesting because it's almost got his kind of Advent Children-y vibe to it, but it's not. It's quite different. It's kind of got more bulk and like leather kind of pauldrons to it. I'm kind of living. And honestly, this idea of getting different outfits for the characters and the weapons being part of the gacha system is a tried and true kind of process. It just always makes me nervous because there's always a layer when it comes to free-to-play live service games that isn't present in any other type of game. So you have to worry about whether the game is good, but you also have to worry about whether it's kind to you or not, whether it's just there to sap your money. we know that you acquire weapons, not characters, so we know that that works because we've seen it from the likes of Dissidia, Final Fantasy, Opera Omnia, and it's a system that works well. Hopefully that continues here. Iconic Blade Beam. So here this is kind of like the home page for solo content, as you can see here. So you've got daily quests, enhancement quests, battle tower, story quests, summon quests. So I assume that they'll all be in sort of varying difficulty levels. There's an energy bar you can see at the top there, so 25 out of 25 energy. So that, if that's something that's going to put you off, then that's definitely going to be something that's present in this game. So you have been warned in advance that it is going to be a thing. I'm not entirely sure what this little credit card icon on the top there is. It looks like a Shinra ID. I hope it's not like an actual credit card icon. That would be bad, but obviously you have the shop next to it, and then just lots of different sort of aspects. So draw is obviously going to be how you acquire new gear, enhance, growth, party, all the sort of typical things that you would find in mobile games. So I think that this game is going to hinge very heavily on how the mechanics work in terms of the gacha to gameplay ratio, as it were. So this is like a tower of sort of floors that you go through, and you get rewards from it, and there's little crystals on the side there that would give the idea that they are there to give extra kind of, either it's enhancement points for that character or something that unlocks skills for that character. I really hope that you can get a character to their maximum potential just by playing the game and not having to get duplicates of the same 5-star or whatever it is item repeatedly, because it's something that it's very quick to put me off of a mobile game. I play Fire Emblem Heroes occasionally, and that's always something that put me off playing that game, despite the fact that the game is really good. So hopefully that's not so much of a thing here. So, going back just ever so slightly. So here we are, the summon stream. So again, this looks like a boss fight. So you get a pact which could go the way of Dissidia, where you use those summons to kind of augment your characters. They could go the way of Brave Exvius if you've played any of the other mobile games for Final Fantasy. This is something that you see quite a lot of. You have to clear Trial of Ifrit normal 1 times in order to get the missions there. So that means that there is a fight with that summon. Typically, that's something that happens quite a lot in Final Fantasy mobile games. So hopefully we'll see more stuff like that, and it's engaging and fun. So again, sort of binding there with the summons means that there's obviously nodes to unlock as you go, and you get more bits and pieces for those summons as you go on. So this is more sort of story related. So this is the introduction of the character Glenn. Now, these guys are clearly kind of relating to First Soldier, which there was a lot of allusion to in previous trailers for Ever Crisis, but we now have a name for this character. And it's interesting because First Soldier obviously didn't last all that long, so I don't believe it had these characters named in that game. I did have a look up before I made this video. I don't believe that these characters have been named in that game beforehand, so there's characters to come out of that are present in the main story. So we have Matt and Lucia, who is another character. Now, whether these characters are characters you're going to have to pull for in the gacha or characters you acquire through the story remains to be seen, but it's quite nice to see original characters come about, because when you're playing a game like this that's a mobile game or a gacha or anything like that, you kind of need original characters to kind of space out in between characters we all know and love, because you can only release the same character so many times, right? But I quite like the design for Glenn here with the big axe. It's interesting and different, but seeing them in both the remake visual style and the FF7 visual style is something that I find quite exciting. And also Lucia here with the sniper rifle is looking pretty cool. Music's all good. So here we see the cutscene that presents presumably Glenn alongside Sephiroth. He's got, I like the little detail that he has materia in his axe. That's quite cute. But to see sort of like original stories in the FF7 universe is quite exciting. Also, this image is iconic. I'm using this in the thumbnail for the video. I don't care what anyone else says. But, to see original stories play out in the FF7 universe within this game could be really exciting, provided they stay within the mobile game. I don't want to see a Kingdom Hearts 3 situation where Glenn suddenly turns up in Rebirth and you're expected to know everything about him because you're assumed to have played the mobile game. It didn't work for Union Cross. I don't want to see it here. But self-contained stories, this I'm very here for. And that's the trailer for Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis. So Pre-registration begins now for iOS and Android, which is very exciting. Sign up for closed beta test on Android, June 8th to June 28th, so that's today. However, it's US and Canada only, so I'm a bit scuppered when it comes to this one, because unfortunately I'm in the UK, which means that it's not something that I have access to, but maybe I can find a way to get access to the closed beta test. If you guys know of a way in which I could do that, please leave a comment in the description box below. Comment down below, comment in the description box, that doesn't work. Please leave a comment down below and let me know how you think that that might work, because I really would love to try this for myself. So here we have the pre-registration page for Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, and as you can see, I have registered already, because of course I have. And, you know, I thought that there was an interesting tidbit of information here that I thought people might like to know that isn't present in the trailer. So it says, relive the most memorable moments from FF7 and experience the journey of a young hero, Sephiroth. So Sephiroth is very much front and center of this, as we've seen in previous trailers where he comes out with the short hair, you know, the iconic flaming image. Experience both classic and new stories within the FF7 universe presented in a retro-style look combined with modern, beautifully rendered graphics that's easily accessible on the go. Team up your favourite characters and customise each one with iconic gear and weapons to defeat powerful opponents in solo or co-op battle mode. Co-op was one of my favourite things about Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia when I played it. When it was new and it was actually challenging, and obviously there's always the case if you're having to rely on other people, and that's not always the greatest things because there are trolls in the world, but generally speaking the co-op was really enjoyable in that game. So I'm hoping that that's the game that they've taken the most inspiration of, because in the first couple of years of that game's life cycle, or even the first like 3 or 4 years, it was really engaging, really fun, and there was a lot to love about it. So discover the secrets of Sephiroth's past, presenting new stories in the FF7 universe, charming characters with a retro style look, relive iconic moments from the FF7 series. I want to see some Advent Children, I need Kadaj back in my life, evolved battle system optimized for mobile, and then connect with players around the world in co-op battles. So the fact that there is co-op present in this game actually makes me more excited for it, so let me know what you think of that too. Before we finish the video up, don't forget to check out all of my social links in the description box below, including Twitter, Twitch, Discord, and Patreon. Over on Twitch, I stream a lot of Final Fantasy and a lot of Street Fighter, so if you want to join in with playing with me, or when this comes out, let me know what kind of things you want to see from me. Would you like to see like a new channel that's dedicated entirely to Ever Crisis? Do you want to see more from me akin to what I used to do with Dissidia? Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of that. And of course, I do always shout out one of my patrons every time I release a video, and today that person is going to be Jealous, who is a long-time supporter of mine, and recently I've been really wanting to highlight those people who have been with me for this entire journey through the thick and thin, and I'm very, very grateful for everyone that supported this channel, the title cards that I make for everybody, the drawings that I make for people, and all the other benefits that come along with that. So if you're interested in joining up, there's a link in the description box for that too. So that's all for my video on Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis today. Hopefully we get some more information about this in the near future. With regards to the closed beta test, I'll be very interested to see more footage from that, or hopefully get my hands on it myself one way or another, so that I can bring you guys even more information on this game, and hopefully bring myself some new sort of regular content that I can bring you guys on the regular for Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, as well as Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Final Fantasy 16, the rest of the Final Fantasy franchise, and maybe I'll throw a bit of Street Fighter in there as well. I've been absolutely living for Street Fighter 6 recently. But right now, we're focusing on all of the Final Fantasy projects that are out there, so let me know in the comments below what you guys think of that, and don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click that bell for notifications on any future videos I might be making. And whew, I think that's it for me. I think that's the fastest I've ever churned out 2 videos in one go. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.